Hello, hello, everyone. Come on in. All right. Hello, Donna. Hello, Isis. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you all are doing well. Live from LA. Yeah, yeah, LA. It's gonna be warm here today, and I'm here for it because it's cooler farther north, right? But yeah, I wanted to come today and just share with you all, something that I found, I want to say earlier this year. Um, and it kind of correlates to what I was saying last time I was in LA about a month ago. And what we're going to be listening to, and we're not going to be here long, what we're going to be listening to today is commentary from someone in the Hollywood show business who has been in Hollywood, right? This person was on a TV show. He was like a band manager for bands out in LA. And, he kind of met some people, right? And we're going to hear him recount um, stories about what he was told with regard to Hollywood vampires, right? So, we all hear stories about, what goes on in the industry and things like that. And, you know, we all know it, I think, but hearing it from someone else for me just goes to show like, yeah, this stuff is really what's going on. And I want you all to also think about the price of fame, right? Because remember when I was here in LA last month, I was just talking about the glamour, right? The glamour of what things is, of what LA is, as it pertains to the industry or whatnot, and how things are really, really disgusting, right? So yeah, we're going to hear from this person, and then we're gonna discuss a little bit panel style, right? So let me go get my notes for the timestamps in the video. And it's not long, it's probably like 20-25 minutes. But let me go get my notes for the timestamps so we can just jump right into the good stuff. And I will be right back. All right, I'm back. I have my notes, and we're also going to, like I said, just have a little panel discussion really quick before task goes live. But yeah, this has been on my spirit to bring this to you all for like months now, and my traveling down to LA with Mr. Hoodoo has just, really brought this to the forefront. Forefront. So let me say hello to everyone. Hey Donna. Hey Isis. Empress. Hood Mistress. Grand Rising. Kev. Britiani. Yeah, this is interesting. And like I said, unless you watch TV shows and movies and documentaries in the realm that this guy really films in, because he used to work with the show. Oh my God, it was a paranormal state. I think it used to come on TLC or the Discovery Channel, whatnot. So he used to work on the show Paranormal State, right? He has his own line of documentaries and things like that, that he has made without dealing with Hollywood foolishness, right? But it's taken him a long time to build his career, and yeah, we're gonna listen to it. So no, not Ryan, but yeah, Ryan was on Paranormal State. Hey, Shay Renee. So yeah, let me just pull this up. This guy's name, his name is Chad Kalick. Okay. And Mr. Kalick, if you ever come across my stream, I do like your films, especially Two Face the Great. So and just sharing this is from his podcast, so there's really nothing to watch. We're just going to listen. So let me just bring this up. Okay, so this is from his page. This is his page, AGH Chad, because like I said, he's made his own documentaries, really touching on the paranormal world, the spiritual world, things like that. AGH stands for American Ghost Hunter. One of his big, his own, like I said, he makes his own documentaries and whatnot. And he tours with his documentaries, things like that. So this is from his In a Crowded Room podcast, episode 5, The Hollywood Illuminati. Okay. This is from 4 years ago. Okay. From 4 years ago. Let me choose this layout. Okay. So yeah, like I said, you can see from 4 years ago down here. Okay. So we're going to listen to it. We're going to start at the 3:55 mark. Okay. But just listen to some of this stuff. Let's go to 3:55 because this is where it really begins. Okay, let's go here.
Video, like many people think, a threat to Hollywood. And what am I talking about there? I am talking about the Hollywood Illuminati, also known as the Hollywood Vampires.
All right, so there we are, Hollywood Illuminati. This is where, this is where we're starting off, okay? Hollywood Illuminati.
And there's a lot to this. When I first visited Los Angeles, I'll never forget it. The first trip I ever made, I was literally met at the airport and I was taken straight to the Riot House, which is the Hyatt on Sunset. Incredible historic hotel. There's a million stories about this place. This is where Guns N' Roses drove motorcycles down the hallways, Led Zeppelin threw a TV out of like the 14th floor or something like that. Just a very legendary place. But I walked through the door, and the first person I literally run into, like bump chests with, is Little Richard. And he's loud as can be. Hello, young man, just like you would think he would be. And we got to chit-chatting, and he was like, he could tell that I wasn't from here. And I got to talking about how I was from Iowa, and this was my first time there. And it turns out that Little Richard actually lived on the 11th floor of this hotel. The whole floor, the entire floor was just his.
Okay, so we're going to move a little bit forward because he's talking about Little Richard, but that's not really the content I want to show you. We're going to move to about 15 minutes in, and then we're going to go 15 minutes to the end. So we're going to listen to about a good 15 to 20 minutes of this. And I just want you all to pay attention to the things that are being said, because like I said, I found it very, very interesting. And, when we talk about degenerates when we talk about people who really do like sick esoteric type shit. Yeah, I heard some of this and I was just like, wow, this is too much. But yeah, so we're gonna move forward because like I said, he goes into this whole story about a band he was managing and things like that. But we're gonna move in a little bit about right here.
Lived in. This was just life out here. People lived in hotels. People dropped thousands of dollars on lobsters and champagne like it's nothing. They bought hookers like it's nothing. They got underage kids drunk and high like it's nothing.
Underage kids, drunk and high like it's nothing, right? And I know we were talking about um, the recent foolishness with, whatever his name is, right? But just understand that this is the culture out here. Remember, I was saying, like, there's just this whole glamour out here, but it's really, really dirty and filthy underneath. Hey, Roxy. Hey, Sunray Physique.
This was just, it was kind of like the shadow to the darkness. You know what I mean? It was like you could see the edge of what this town is. Um, so I went home, or not went home, but I went to my own room that night and woke up the next morning and I went for a walk on Sunset Strip. And what's crazy about Sunset Strip is it's actually very, very small. You think of it being some, huge like part of LA. It's this tiny little, I don't know, 8 to 10 block area. And during the daytime, it's so dirty. It's just disgusting. It reminded me of Las Vegas during the daytime. I mean, at night, it looks all shiny and bright, but when the sun comes up and you see it for what it is, it's so freaking dirty. It's so freaking dirty. So, to make a long story short, that band ended up moving out here where they signed a development deal with Mike Klink, who is the producer for Appetite for Destruction.
All right, you heard him say it's so dirty, right? And again, going back to what I was saying last time I was here, because the last time I was here, it was really my first time here. And I'm just like, okay, I don't necessarily see the pull, or I don't feel the draw to LA. Again, like I said, I never thought I'd be living on the West Coast, especially because when you think about the West Coast, for the most part, you're thinking about California and you're thinking about Hollywood, right? So just putting those two together, I was never drawn here. Never was drawn here. Maybe it's because I can, see and sense things that other people can't. But I'm just like, something ain't right. Right. So here he is saying what I was saying. Right. And make sure you like this video.
But we ended up going our own ways due to just personal differences in their lifestyle and where things were going. And it was a heartbreaker because I really cared about those kids. And shortly after, they broke up due to drug issues and things that you would never, ever in a million years.
Okay. So getting the children on drugs, right? Getting the children on drugs. It's Hollywood, man. Like, but just the energetics of it here. It's yeah. Energetically it's disgusting here.
Years would think what happened to them. But they stepped in a crack of darkness in this town and it swallowed them. And that's how it works out here. It's not the city of angels, it's the city of fallen angels, which I would soon learn as well when I moved out here. And I moved out here shortly after they did. I pretty much came out here and got them set up, and 2 weeks later moved out myself. And while I was out here, I befriended all kinds of people in the industry, the music industry and the film industry, and I kept hearing about this Illuminati stuff that, in the Hollywood Hills, man, you got to stay away from the Hollywood Hills. You got to stay away from the Hollywood Hills. It's the worst up there. Like you can't believe what goes on up there. That's where the Illuminati is. That's where all the occult secrets are. That's where the Hollywood vampires are. And I did. I stayed away from the hills. It was not really my scene.
Okay, so he's talking about, the Hollywood Hills and quote unquote the Hollywood vampires. Okay.
But I remember talking to him about.
Okay, Donna, this isn't an industry wide talking about it now. This is just him remarking on some of his experiences while in Hollywood. Okay.
The Hollywood Hills too, and the Hollywood vampires. And I said to George, I said, are the Hollywood vampires the same as the Illuminati? And he was like, yeah, same thing. He was like, the vampires is just a term because, you know, if you let them, they'll suck your lifeblood, man. I mean, they'll kill you. And I used to say, you know, how do you know that this is real, that this is going on? And he was mostly through stories to him. He was like, oh, I know this friend who knew this person that was in the entertainment industry. And the stories that he told me were crazy. They were telling me that to get to a certain level of success, there are these groups that throw these sex orgies. And
Okay, so to get to a certain level of success in Hollywood, okay, whether it's the entertainment or, movies or music industry, right? There are certain things that you have to do. Okay? Things that you have to do. So when we're hearing things and, things come out and, oh my gosh, this happened and whatnot, you have to kind of ask yourself, do these people who come out here wanting to be in this industry really, really know what they're going to have to do to get famous? And if they do know and they're participating in it, you know, there's a point where you have to weigh, do you want to be really, really famous and have to deal with this sick shit? Do this sick shit or not? Right? Because we remember, the whole Me Too and all of this out here. But the fact of the matter is, the sick shit out here that they do, unfortunately, it is the price for fame. Okay? Exactly, Auntie. And I had said it before when my last live stream when I was out here in Vegas out here in LA a month ago, the revolving door. I said exactly that. There is a revolving door, right? Because the industry has to keep feeding new lifeblood into it, right? Because, musicians and actors pass away, or they leave the industry, or they're blackballed out. But I said exactly this, that the energy here, like, it's bright, it's sunny, the weather is warm, there are palm trees, and I love me a palm tree, but there's this disgusting, degenerate darkness, and I don't know why people don't see it. Okay? I don't know why people don't see it. Hey, Clarence.
And regardless of whatever your persuasion is, whether you're into men or women, you just gotta, do whatever you want. For a set time period, you have to give yourself up to do whatever. Um,
So, for a set time period, you have to give yourself up to do whatever. And listen, I'm not here for anyone graping anyone or anyone, essaying anyone or whatnot, but make no mistake about it. For the most part, to rise really, really high, you're going to have to do some sick shit, some shit you don't want to do, and join these little cults and stuff, okay?
the elite that run everything want you to do. Supposedly, it was all very satanic. He told me some really dark stories about how there were. This was a known thing. These HIV parties, where people who had HIV would knowingly infect a person with it, and that person.
Do y'all hear this shit? HIV parties. HIV parties. And I know we talk about people who in the industry, really should have rose to fame and things like that, but I'm glad a lot of them didn't. Because you're selling yourself, you're selling your body, you're selling your you're selling yourself, you're selling your body, you're joining these groups, HIV parties. HIV parties. Y'all get infected with HIV parties for fame. Y'all allowing yourselves to be ran through, essay, have people sleep with you, whatever, for fame. And remember, I told you all last year, avoid the spirit of desperation, because desperation is going to lead you to do some of anything. And a lot of people come out to Hollywood. They want to be an entertainer. They want to be an actor. They want to be a singer. They want to be whatever. But you're getting in bed with this foolishness. Okay. And this is the dark, disgusting, degenerate, dark side of, when we're talking about like the dark side of like sex magic and things like that. Because make no mistake about it, sex magic is fine because sex is natural, right? If you're a willing participant, you know what you're doing, that's fine. But this disgusting shit, HIV parties, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Person would know that they were going to be infected with HIV. I mean, just super dark, disturbing stuff. And before he passed away, we had one more conversation about it.
All right, so make sure that you're listening.
Forget how it came up, but he basically just said to me, just stay out of the Hollywood Hills. So I was beyond.
It's not about the HIV, Donna. It's about the sex magic and stuff like that, because you can use sex magic as a binding ritual, right? But no, they just out here in these Hollywood HIV parties because knowingly get infected because they want the fame.
Uninterested at this time as to what this was, and then you started seeing all this stuff online of all these crazy symbols of Jay-Z doing the hand diamond, the Illuminati sign, and all these different artists that have crazy Illuminati imagery. And
okay, so you heard them. All these artists, the Illuminati imagery, talking about your boy Jay-Z, allegedly. Yeah, because and if you listen to some of and just to touch on the Jay-Z point, I don't know if you listen to some of Jay-Z's later tracks or whatever, when he started talking about like, I'm not a I'm not a Mason, I'm amazing or whatever it is, and talking about the Illuminati and all like that, and then seeing pictures of him in the shirt, do what thou wilt, right? Things like that, seeing him at the spirit cooking parties, things like that. We all know what it is. So, I just want you all to think about that. And, whoever your favorite rapper, musician, such and such is, just understand if they're out here getting big, they're probably doing this shit. So you have to think about what types of music you are listening to and what artists you are aligning yourself with, things like that. Because I don't think we can say this is sick, dark, disgusting shit, and then you turn around and you listen to their music, knowing what they're doing. You have to pick a side. You have to pick a side.
Their music videos, and this is a real thing. I mean, this is everywhere.
And that's why I'm kind of going with this too, Hood Mistress Reloaded. Like, okay, yeah.
The Eye of Horus, all this stuff. I had to know. I wanted to know really, really bad. And there were a couple times in my life when I was around very famous people, and I tried to bring up the conversation. And for some reason, everybody that I know that was super famous, I was never able to actually broach that conversation. There would always be some reason why either they wouldn't want to talk about it, or they couldn't talk about it, or the conversation would quickly come to an end. And then about a year and a half ago, I started working with a new agent named Rich Super. And Rich had a long history of working with a lot of comedians. I mean, everybody from in his very early days, from Richard Pryor to Dave Chappelle to, oddly enough, Artie Lang, who's been struggling with drugs really bad as of late. But essentially, it was late one night and we were hanging out. We were discussing the different people he had worked with. And it was everybody from Brian Callen to Chelsea Handler was another one. And I was talking to him about, the power structure and how, some, acts seem to just emerge and fire up the ladder like a cannonball. Just boom, they're just huge. Amy Schumer's one of them. I mean, she comes on the scene and a year later, she's selling out arenas and no one can really kind of pinpoint why. It's happened, a few times with different musical acts as well, where they just come out and they explode. And that's not how Hollywood works, guys. I can tell you that even if you have everything lined up, and even if everything looks to be perfect in your corner, it's just very rare that things just explode. I mean, it's so rare. It's like, it's not even 1 in a billion. It's like 1 in a trillion that things like that happen. It's just so hard to get anywhere because the industry is built to keep you out. Anybody that has a piece of their pie is not, willfully giving it up. So when things happen and, an artist just comes out of like a comet through the sky and explodes, it's really weird. And we were talking about that. And I said to him, Richard, I need to ask you like a real question. And I'm like, just please answer me, because I've met, many different people over the years, and I'm friends with some people that are famous, and I can't seem to breach this conversation with anyone. Every time I bring it up, it just seems like people don't want to talk about it. And he's like, yeah, what are you talking about?
So he's asking famous people that he knows, famous people that he's friends with, what's up? They don't want to talk about it. So he's asking Rich
about. And I said, is this, whole Illuminati thing real? Where there's a small group of people that kind of control everything and they decide who makes it. They're involved in politics and they decide, who becomes president. And in order to rise to a certain level, you have to, essentially give up your soul and become a slave for a time period and do whatever somebody else wants you to do. And it involves all this Satanism and, all the sexual stuff. I'm like, I just want to know, is this real? He takes a drink of his drink and he looks at me and he was like, why do you want to know that? And I'm like, well, are you kidding me? I mean, I'm in the business. I want to know, because I can tell you right now, if I ever get to a place where someone says, hey, if you want this job, you got to let me fuck you. That's not happening,
Okay, so he's just like, if I have to get to a place where somebody gotta, screw me, he's like, no. He's turning it down. Good for him.
Or I got to, do something I don't want to do or hurt somebody or something. I just, it was weird because he took another drink. He took a really long pause and he looked at me and he said, you really want to know? And I said, yes, I really want to know. He paused again. And then he says, it's absolutely real. I'm like, what? I did not expect that answer. He was like, it's real. What do you mean it's real? And he goes, you asked. And I go, come on, man. And he goes, look at Jay-Z. He goes, Jay-Z is one of the most powerful people the entertainment industry has ever known. He's the head of Live Nation. He's the head of his own, major label. He came from like nothing. And I go, yeah, well, I know there's a lot of success stories. And he goes, no, like Chad. He's like, he came from the projects to absolutely running this industry. He goes, you are one of the best at what you do. And he's being an agent when he's saying this stuff to me. I'm not sitting here bigging myself up, but he said, you're one of the few people that have found a way to put together a team and carve your own lane, and build not only a career for yourself, but something that there's always opportunity for it to grow. And he goes, but how hard is that growth? You tell me. And I'm like, oh no, it's extremely hard. Yeah, you got to always stay on it 24/7, never stop. You have to put yourself in a position to be, quote, lucky, which I hate that term. You got to always put yourself in a position to win. You just can, yeah, it's very, very hard because even if things are lined up, that doesn't mean you'll make it. He goes, right. And he goes, but yet Jay-Z is running this industry. And he goes, you don't think there were people that selected him for that? And I'm like, well, who are these people? And he was like, most of them you don't know and you won't. Some of them you do. And today that freaks me out because during the Me Too movement, there were a couple of big names that I had heard rumors of stuff before it ever happened. The Weinstein stuff, Harvey Weinstein, I can tell you that stuff, those rumors were flying around LA for a long, long, long time. I mean, I was hearing those rumors. The Bill Cosby stuff, those rumors were flying around the industry for a long time. And these are like titans of the industry, especially Weinstein. So for Weinstein to go down, there has to be a serious shakeup. And, I had mentioned that to him. I said, well, how about this Weinstein thing? I mean, if he was one of the big, one of the most powerful guys, and he goes, he was a sacrificial lamb. We started talking about the fact that if you give, one big wig up like that, then everybody else is kind of protected because that story will dominate the press. It will dominate it. And that name was as big as it gets. Weinstein. I mean, that was as big as it gets. So he's going down for all that stuff. And then I'm like, yeah, but this can't be. I don't believe in any of this stuff. I can't wrap my mind around the fact that there's some, satanic cult that's running things that has all these sex slaves and it's all these very powerful people. And then
sex slaves. Mm-hmm.
What comes out in the press? NXIVM, right? Did you guys hear about this? NXIVM and the female actress from Smallville. And what is it? It's this powerful Illuminati-like sect of extremely wealthy people that are recruiting sex slaves that are getting branded with the initials of the guy that's leading the cult. And some of these parties have been held at the most wealthy people in the world. These parties have been held at their establishments and their homes. And I'm like, what is going on? And the deeper and deeper and deeper I dug into it, there's a lot of legs to the story. There's a lot of reason to believe that this is real, that the Hills and the Hollywood vampires and all this stuff, that it's all real.
Okay, so yeah. Again, there are certain things that come out. Make no mistake about it. Just like he said with the guy whose name rhymes with Garvey. There are no coincidences, okay? There are no coincidences. These people, right? This undercurrent, when we talk about things, dark, like yesterday I had my live stream and I'm just like, calling stuff a demon, everything in a demon, a lot of times it's just people and their choices. I truly feel that there are people out here doing stuff. And again, there's this allure, there's this glamour to bring people in to this industry out here. for whatever degeneracy, debasement, type activities and whatnot. And that, yeah, you have to be in, right? To be in, you got to get sick with this shit. You have to get sick with it, you know. And again, just I'm not telling you all what to do, but again, I think that it's hypocritical to say I don't like this or this is degenerate shit and calling such and such a demon, but and this is no shade, people out here going to these concerts and stuff like that, what are you gonna do, right? Um, what are you gonna choose? So yeah, like I said, I remember stumbling upon this earlier this year because I didn't even know this guy had a podcast, a YouTube channel. Again, because I watch his documentaries. I actually went to one of his documentary showings in Atlanta many, many, many years ago. So yeah, for the most part, I like his work because he is independent. He controls everything himself, his own image, everything like that. Um, but yeah, so what are your thoughts on this? I'm going to pin the link. So whoever wants to come up so we can discuss really quick, you know, um, whoever wants to come up can. And again, we're going to discuss. Okay, so I pinned the link for whoever wants to come up and we can kind of discuss, but make sure we're monitoring the words that we're saying. So, yeah. Hey, Donna.
Hey Q, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, darling?
I'm good. It just seems like this Illuminati stuff is starting to come like full circle because now I notice even the stars are just blatantly making jokes in front of our faces,
Mm-hmm.
like as a massive gaslight. And then it's weird, Q, because they'll be like, "Oh, I want you to believe I'm a part of it. I want you to believe it." But then if you call them out and believe it and then start backing away from them accordingly, they also get mad. So I'm very confused what they want from the public at this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I really, really, I'm very glad when I see, like the children of Hollywood like out of it because as you heard earlier, earlier in his video, he was talking about how, and let me just go ahead and say allegedly, um, they have these child actors out here and then they're giving them drugs, right? To get them hooked, right? Bring them out there. We all seen what happened to so many child actors. So many, child actors and other actors, they're strung out on drugs, they're alcoholics and stuff like that. But yeah, this is the disgusting, and I'm bringing it back to just the dark esoterics of things, right? Because all of this crap is um it's a ritual, right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Okay, what is this? Okay, sorry, I was getting an email. But yeah, this is, so we have to, and I'm trying to say this as delicately as I can without offending people. Just know that You want the fame, especially depending on who you're going to get aligned with. You want the fame and people discovering you and all like that. It's probably going to be some sick ass shit. We all see, the price that's paid. And again, he said, it's funny because he was saying that the guy he was talking to was saying vampires, right? So just the analogy of vampires, right? Sucking the life out of you, sucking all that you are as a person out of you, feeding off your energy, feeding off of the pain and, debauchery that you go through for this life, you know. So yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
Hollywood literally is a giant pimp, but it's legal and nobody really says much about it. Like
It's
people might be like, "Oh, stop something," but people don't like really take a stance.
yeah, so I mean it's just HIV parties. Is this what people like? And I'm trying to think and try and I don't know when fame became such a thing, but I mean I feel like I don't know. I don't know. It's just I wish more people could see the dark underbelly of some things.
Listen, it was the HIV parties that took me out because
The HIV parties took me out too.
I was like,
HIV parties took me out.
what? I was just like, I don't like money cannot be like literally you're doing all this to get into an industry where you don't even get paid that much anyways. You might be better off trying to be your own independent influencer and not even go through half of the shit that you got to go through to be in that world. But then you're not even going to get paid all that much. And then what you do get paid, you're going to have to spend on yourself that's itching and burning.
Yeah. So, you know, um, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But I've
It's
always wondered, Q, how does a magician like meet those types of dark energies that even like coach them on doing this stuff?
the dark energies are not coaching them on doing this. These are people doing this. It's not. It's not. It's
Okay, I'm just like, okay, because how do you like, I'm like, how do you even get to this point? Because I'm like, I can't think of any spirit that you can talk to help you do what you want to do that you would even need to do half of this shit for.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like people are degenerates, but yeah, using certain rituals and stuff like that to cover things up, yes. Um, to bring glamour and attention to say the industry or to to push that out there to make people want fame, yes. Um, building your own empire, yes. But there I don't know of a spirit out here who's just like, "Yeah, Imma help you SA people." Like, I don't know, I don't know that one. Um, no. No, those are people doing other things that, help cover up their degeneracy.
Yeah, it's just always been like so weird to me with that because like whenever you hear like stars talk about talk about or hint that like there's some sort of like spirit or energy or whatever that they're feeding. I'm like, what type of dark shit did y'all just tap into? Like, how did you even go? Like, what possessed you in your brain to even go about finding this? Like, yuck.
Fame, 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 and I get it, some people, are doing things because they don't want to, let's say, quote unquote, like be in poverty or anything like that. I get that. I get that. Wanting to rise out of poverty, wanting to, especially people who are talented, right? You were born with a beautiful voice, or, people have skill sets, or they really, really practice at whatever it is, dancing or whatever. You know, those people who have natural talent and they've worked on their craft, absolutely, if they're having a concert or something you should pay them for that. Absolutely. But, I think part of the trick is the way that celebrities have just become the ideal people that society looks up to, especially like Western society looks up to. And when everyone is a celebrity out in front of you and they're pretty or they're handsome or they have this, that, and the third, that's when the wheels start to turn, right? It's not listen to this academic professor. It's not listen to this scientist who has a PhD or whatever, whatever, whatever. It's not listen to this humanitarian who's out here, feeding people and helping develop, cures for things. It's not those people. It's these people along with the glamour.
Yeah, I do notice that too. I've been noticing that recently, like the fame and the money is like for most people, like if you're like a regular person, like most of us, which there's nothing wrong with trying to come out of poverty, they make it literally that you always have to go through them. But the easiest avenue is fame.
Yeah.
Because when people try to do it with like small businesses, I notice they will sabotage. They do things in the law that they call it protection, or they just say it's standard business practices, which are things to keep like small businesses down. Or in any other industry where they tell you, oh, you have to like study for X amount of years to work in this industry. And then they make it that, okay, you might get decent pay from the start, or it might look decent, but then when you have your loans and inflation and just life, it's pretty much just a roundabout way to keep you in some form of like poverty. It's like they lock off being rich for like 99.9% of people unless they want you to be there, which is why I think
But
it's
that's
so
what he
hard to
said. Didn't you hear when he said these people have a large slice of the pie and everyone just isn't getting in. Like you have to, you know what I'm saying? Um, when they pull you into that, they pull you into that. And again, just based off what you were saying, we see it a lot with um the whole idea of being discovered. It's sports, it's being an actor, being a model, or being in the industry, a singer or performer some type of way. I mean, look, like I said, look at all the shows. We have, Dancing with the Stars, and we have, this, all these different things like that. We have the reality TV stuff, which is again celebrity stuff. I remember some of the first ones, the Osbournes and whatnot, way back in the day when I was much younger. But way back in the day. So seeing that, and that, paraded this is what this is. It's part
hmm
of the revolving door. These are the things that are most popular to kind of feed that. Cafe Ola is saying, so is Scientology another section of the Illuminati? I don't know. But I think that we need to look at, when we're discussing this from this angle, remember he just said the Nexium, right? The Nexium, we have to look at large groups who have power structures. He was talking about power structures. Scientology, power structure. Okay.
hmm
Nexium, power structure. So is it possible? Do I know this for a fact? I don't know it for a fact. But I find certain things in the way that certain groups, which is Scientology, wields, power. I find it very, very interesting. But some of the gross stuff, remember who was it? It was the actor Leah. Leah, she was trying to out like Scientology for what it was, and they were trying to come after her. She had her whole show like out in Scientology, right? So, I just want more of us to wake up and not be so naive about certain things because the things are real. It's real out here.
You know what is funny about Scientology? Because I was looking at my own country of origin, you could say, or you could just say country. I was looking at Jamaica because this TikToker said, "Oh my God, out of the 9 families that run us, like most of them are Scientology, and then the rest are like connected to like some famous like Obia man and Obia woman." And I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, I gotta research this. Tell me how all the rich people that do run the Caribbean are either Scientologists or into magic or both."
Yeah, I'm sorry. Say that again.
Oh, I was saying that there was a TikTok talking about all the 9 families that run Jamaica and how they're pretty much all Scientologists, or they're connected to like, prominent, like famous Obia men or women in our history. And then when you go back and you actually do the research, because I thought they were just trolling, it's actually true. Like they all are Scientologists.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think we have to look at the power structures and things like that. Just so we can truly, truly, truly see and understand that. You know, yeah. And I think a lot of times, when we talk about like quote unquote the dumbing down of society and things like that, I fully believe that's real. Again, like I said, just the glamour of so many things. The glamour of so many things.
Yeah, many people think they're trolling. Like every time, like there's even like occultists who are now like coming out and who are like, "Oh yeah, Hollywood's just trolling. They don't know what this stuff means." And it's so weird.
I know
Be-
that's a full bold faced lie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to do because most people don't believe in the woo woo anyway. So it's easy for, like the trolling like that, the gaslighting to be presented because most people, you know, don't believe, don't believe in it, right? But if you're a person that works in the spiritual space, you're just like, okay, I mean, like we can't convince people that it's real. They're gonna have to find out and experience themselves. But that's a whole, and that's why I'm just like, I never forget I saw it was like some argument on the internet. This was years ago of like I said, Jay-Z wearing the shirt, right?
Mhm.
Okay, well, Jay-Z wearing the shirt and me and the cultists looking at it like, okay, so I know what it is. And then the people back and forth were just like, oh, he can't wear a shirt. He can wear whatever he wants. Yeah, it's right in front of your face. But it's no one it's easy. Google is free. You can Google it and see what it is. Why, if that's not what you're interested in or not what you do or whatever, why are you wearing that?
And see, that's what I'd be asking because there's like this one guy I follow. He does have a lot of occult advice, but he's always like a very like, "Oh, you have to prove to me that they're all into this stuff," and he's like, "You can't pull any form of proof." He's like, "Wearing a symbol doesn't mean anything." He's like, "A lot
Right.
of them are trolling to get attention." But my thing that I'm trying to figure out, with a lot of these, like occultist, because I do follow him and take advice because he like has been practicing for X amount of years, and he's a hermeticist and he actually does know what he's talking about. But when I get confused about these occultists that know what they're talking about and say, "Oh no, they're not into it because they're just wearing it as a thing to troll," I'm like, so do you all think because people are not open and out like you that they're into this lifestyle, that they're not into it? Because like what I try to tell a lot of them is a lot of occultists, especially from like a lot of different cultures, like if you're in an ATR or an ADR, or you might be into something more European, you might be into witchcraft, which is more European, you're not open because in a lot of cultures it's not acceptable, or we're taught that you're supposed to hide in plain sight because nobody's supposed to know what's in your hand. It's like what you say. You know how you said last time, like magic is like a tool and sometimes an occasional weapon, and you're not supposed to let everybody know what's in your toolbox
Yeah.
because you might need to pull out something, pull out a surprise for somebody. That's what it's like. So every time, they ask for proof and they're like, oh, that's circumstantial, so that's not 100% proof. But when I ask them for proof, well, how do you know that they are trolling? Nobody can give me an answer.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, and here's my, my thought process about that. People who are big name celebrities, you don't have to do much to quote unquote get attention, right? They can easily go to, let's say, the mall and just buy everyone's purchases at the mall if they want attention. You don't have to necessarily do that for attention. They can wear a picture of a dog on their shirt or the middle finger on a shirt or, sit in the car and pick their nose so paparazzi can take a picture of them for attention. Why is it that? And this is why, sometimes I'm just like, I don't know if I have faith in humanity because a lot of people are dumb. People with high profile names can literally do anything. We all see the paparazzi pictures of, oh, so and so was wearing their bikini on the beach and they looked fat. Like, you can get attention any type of way. Why are you wearing that? And this is why, like I said, most people are dumb, and you're not wearing that unless you like. There was no making a political statement about it. There was no blase blase. Sometimes the truth just is what it is.
Yeah, and that's the part that, like, I keep trying to tell, people, especially, like, other witches around my age or younger, right? Because, I'll be in the spaces, where I go in the spaces of all ages, more older people, more younger people. And I always be telling the young ones, look, just because somebody doesn't tell you they practice witchcraft, or just because people are out here not believing in God, don't mean they don't practice witchcraft or some form of magic. I'm like, in many of these traditions, you don't need to believe in deities to practice it. One, because you're
Correct.
working with energy. And I'm like, but two, but a lot of people could just be in public because we're in a secular world. Oh no, I don't believe in that. Or if they're from a place that's very Abrahamic, they're pretending to be Christian, but that's not what they are. I'm
Mhm.
like, I keep trying to tell people, especially other Black people, I'm like, you would be surprised how not Christian and not Islamic a lot of Africa and the Caribbean is. It's just hidden.
Yeah, and I think that not getting into the whole hotel foolishness or whatever, but when you hear the conversations about like black people are dumb, um, the way that need a leader, need a such and such, because for a lot of black people, certain celebrities are quote unquote their leader, their messiah, their savior to some degree, right? The people that are propped up, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just like, so, and that's what I'm saying. Like when I saw that entire argument about the shirt he was wearing, it was a bunch of black people. Oh, y'all just hating. Oh, he can wear whatever he wants. Oh, he said he such and such. Oh, this, that, the third. Wearing the different shirts. From Freemasonry and stuff like that. You're like, I'm not out here wearing a Freemason shirt. Like I'm not a Mason. I don't like things that you wear are things that you are cool with,
Or
you know,
tied to.
or tied to. Right, right. Affiliation matters. So, like I said, sometimes I don't have hope for humanity, but we can see.
Yeah, and I always wondered that when people are like, oh, because they're wearing this, it doesn't matter. I'm just like, but you won't see them wear a Target shirt unless they're advertising for Target.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. People who have high profile names can do some of anything for attention. You don't have to wear that for attention. You can do anything for attention. Oh, you can drop your coffee on your shirt and they'll be like, well, they were clumsy today. And they were clumsy today and spilled, you can do anything for attention. You don't have to do that. So.
I mean, hell, I tell people, even look at the influencers that are not celebrities, some that are really big that have like pretty much little to nothing to do with Hollywood. They blow their nose and you all are giving them thousands of likes in a second. What's to stop a celebrity who has even more fame than these influencers from doing the same thing?
Yeah.
It's like you said, they wouldn't need to do the dark stuff to get attention if that's what they weren't into.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, does anybody else have anything they want to say? Want to come up and join and say before I end this stream? Let me know. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to show you all that because like I said, it's listen, the information is out there. It's really out there. And I think that if we want to call, call in stuff evil spirits, yeah, HIV parties, yeah, yeah, because I saw Renaissance woman came in. She was like, HIV parties. Yes, honey, they were having HIV parties where you were not only going to get infected with HIV out here in Hollywood, you know, so that you can get the fame. So that you can get the fame. Yeah, the HIV parties, baby. So, yeah, just make sure, because everything with regards to life is an energetic exchange. So make sure, if you are someone who it's all good, son, right? Make sure that if you are someone who really, really wants to be out here, you are truly talented, you can truly, truly sing, you have the range, and all like that, or you really want to, just know you probably have to work really hard and for a long time and be out here pushing your mixtape in the parking lot or pushing your CD out here in the parking lot or whatever your SoundCloud whatever it is because yeah, yeah, the seedy underbelly of
And then if you're in places like Canada, like they try to rip you off on these like streaming apps. Like you could be like independent and your song could do really, really well. It could go viral and they only want to pay you like $5,000 or $10,000.
Mhm.
But these artists who do way less than you, sometimes with their own music, are getting millions of dollars from these streaming apps. I'm like, okay, so I see the play.
Mhm. But yeah, just like I think someone was saying in the chat, or I can't remember if Nyla covered it. I think Doja Cat. I don't know who these people are, but just like I hear different names and things like that, and you can see people, and like some of them can sing, and then some of them are completely talentless, and I'm just like, who is big up on you like that? Oh, but then it's the industry, and then you see a couple of these videos, just like he was saying in his podcast, you see the imagery and stuff like that, and it's just like, oh, okay, and then you know what it is.
Yeah, and like I keep trying to tell people, because people will try to argue this with me on some of the forums I'm in, or like pages of other occultists. Like I keep trying to tell people around my age, I'm like, again, just because they're not like a lot of y'all where you all want to make up these weird ass witch titles that didn't exist before and call yourselves divination witches and water witches and all these types of witches, just because they're not out here wearing a bunch of symbols and pentagrams and stuff does not mean they're not into it. I'm like, nobody who's actually in the occult, like deep in the occult, takes y'all seriously anyways, because a real occultist is not about to show it.
Yeah, I don't wear, like I said, if you all were to ever know who I am and like see me out here on the street, I'm in my cute dress. Y'all know I keep my nails like nice. I'm in my dress, I'm in my heels, with my matching pink purse or red purse or whatever. I look like, oh, look at this short lady with the huge rack walking down the street in the parking lot putting her groceries, in the car. She
No,
looks,
not the rack.
yeah, girl,
I
he's
see you, Q. You got a cute body. I see you.
right. So, that's what they see like out here. Like it's probably gonna be some, oh, she thinks she cute before I'm ever like, okay, so she's wearing a pentagram. Like she's a worker. Like I would never outwardly wear something. Even when I used to wear pentacles, I used to wear them tucked under my shirts. So no one saw them. Um
I keep trying to tell people. And like, I don't know if one day you'll ever do a stream on like the value of being hidden in plain sight. But I feel like it's much more valuable because I feel like when people know you're a worker, and
Mhm.
like I'm not somebody that charges, right? Because I don't have nowhere near the experience to charge like for like spell work or my craft at all. I'll do it for some people that I know personally for free if I see them, in a situation where they need help. And I don't even think I would ever want to go into this business with the horror stories that y'all be telling me because absolutely not. The people trying to scam you as a worker,
Yeah,
no, I'm not about to
absolutely.
do it. But I find when people know you're a worker, when you know in that realm, like in your everyday life, right, if people figure it out, people just expect all this stuff for you for free. Like at my old job, some people ended up finding out, and then it's like, oh, I want a money spell, I want a love spell, I want a this spell, I want a that spell, and it's like, um, okay, I might have, felt bad for you in this one time and did something here to help you out with this situation, but I'm not gonna be a free on-call worker just giving you stuff for free. Like, do you know how much money of my own it takes to do rituals because I actually do them extensively and properly? And do you know how much energy and time that takes? Like, I'm not being compensated. And I feel like once people know you're spiritual, they just want to bring all their spiritual problems onto you. And it's like, I could show you something so you could handle the basics at least yourself. But it's like, no, they want you to do everything for them. So I feel like it also opens yourself up to a lot of exploitive energy. Now,
It-
I didn't let people exploit my gifts after a while. Like, after you ask me for something 3 times in a row and then you're asking me a fourth time, it's like, okay, no.
yeah, yeah, and it is like that. It is like that. I can't tell you how many times people were in my inbox asking for something for free. Um, but um, but yeah, yeah. So yeah, yeah. It's crazy out here in these streets. I just wanted to share this with you all today because yeah, it's real out here. It's real out here in these streets. And again, like I said, I'm here in LA, but I'm here with Mr. Hoodoo because he's at work today. We're heading to Vegas tomorrow. But yeah, he asked me earlier today before he left for work. He was just like, "What do you want to do today?" And I'm just like, because I'm not sure. Like I'm here for the weather right now because it's like 82 degrees here today. So I'm here for the sunshine and the warmth because I'm a tropical Negro. But do I really want to like immerse myself in the energies of LA? No, no, I don't. I just want to get some tacos and enjoy this warm weather before we head out to Vegas tomorrow. So
You're lucky. Like my shit is cold. Like there is ice. There is ice starting to form, like that light layer of ice, and then it melts in the middle of the day. Like
yeah.
we got a nice frost going. But I did have this question for you. I was thinking about it before during when the guy was talking. Is like mass gaslighting like a ritual? Like
Yes.
whenever a celebrity comes
Yes.
out and says this is what's happening to me, and then we all knowingly or unknowingly join in on gaslighting them.
Yes, because it raises energy.
Okay,
Yes.
I was wondering that.
Yes, the energetics of things. This is why, with certain things, we're taught to quote unquote care about certain things because the energetics can be borrowed, can be used, when you're caring about certain things, right? So, yeah, yeah. I don't even know where are we at? We are in I think we're in Southeast LA right now because it was closer to bring us a little bit closer for our drive to Vegas because our drive to Vegas tomorrow is going to be 4 hours. So we didn't want to stay like way up north or way west on the coast or like Long Beach or anything like that. We want to stay because we have a 4 hour drive tomorrow, which won't be bad. But no, to answer your question, Donna, yes, it's a whole ritual. It's a whole energetic raising so they can steal their energy. Yeah.
Okay, so like what happened to Kanye? That was like they were pushing that so hard because that was energy harvesting
Oh,
from
absolutely.
him, from us to gaslight him.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, and remember, like, you're supposed to care about certain things, no matter what the issue is. You're supposed to care, right?
Hmm.
Because anyone who is a worker know that you need to, when you are doing work, you're utilizing energy, you're transforming it to use it for your purpose. So everyone, now make no mistake about it, certain things absolutely we should care about. But like I'm, often on the streams like with Nyla or Taz, I'm like, I don't know these people. I don't care enough to lend my energetics to them. Right. So
Yeah, I feel you. I've been like, I don't know how it's been happening, but I've kind of stopped listening to like all popular music. I stopped kind of following a lot of like celebrities, like unless like I'm watching somebody talk about it. And
yeah,
even then, I've been kind of pulling away because I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel over it.
yeah. I mean, she said, so we shouldn't mass shame Kanye. Sunray. I mean, listen. There's one thing, right? But do I feel sorry for such and such? Do I feel no, I don't. I don't feel sorry for these people because we all know people in our community who truly deserve attention and help, whatnot, for certain things. And I feel like our fellow man on that level, I feel like that's where we should be worried about and helping. Um, do I want bad things to happen to people? Absolutely not. Do I want bad things to happen to celebrities? Absolutely not. But I'm more worried about, or care more about when I hear about like trying to do things about people, like who are getting laid off of their jobs or, like people, and it's right before the holidays and, it's getting cold and stuff like that. But worried, quote unquote, about celebrities on a overall scale, no, I don't. But yeah, but I'm about to end this because Task is about to go live. So I'm about to join in over there. And I thank you all for being here with me today. I hope you enjoyed this. We'll see if I have time to do anything else this week because again, we're traveling to Vegas and we're going to have fun in Vegas. But yeah, thanks for being here. Hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and I'll see y'all in these YouTube streets. All
Bye,
right.
Q.
All right, y'all. Bye.